For the Griggs County Commission, stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll, John.
Here.
Dale.
Here.
Mark is absent. Sean.
Here.
Troy is here. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Been moved by Dale to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Take a look at the minutes from September 18th.
Would you believe a few simple changes?
Any additions or corrections to the minutes from the September 18th meeting?
Move to accept the September 18th minutes and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Sean to approve the September 18th meeting minutes and dispense with the reading. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Move on to the bills. I thought you were gonna have some audit sheets in here.
Did you want those? Do you want to go
I
to
don't
them?
care. No, I
They
mean,
didn't change anything, did they? No.
It's. I can just tell you guys about them.
okay, that's fine. I mean, it's not on the agenda, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Any questions in the bills?
Evidently Wayne bought the gravel, a stockpile of gravel for $64,000.
Who's that for?
Page 5, Gilbertsons and Sons. Assume that that's what that is for.
It's tires, springs, bolts, mounts.
No, not for $64,000.
Oh.
Not tires, but
Oh, wrong one. Yep. That was for gravel.
gravel.
10,000 cubic yards.
Oh, okay. You see that?
$6.40 a yard?
It's class 13, I think that's not a bad deal.
Really?
You get like $11 out of that to the west of me.
Wow.
Hmm.
I didn't realize it was that expensive.
No class two, it's just, yeah, $6.40. Or the rest I'll get.
Did they mine any more of that this year, or is it just all this
I think
stockpile?
they just brought in some more and added to it, I believe.
They crushed some rock and added to it, didn't they?
Yep.
How did the new courthouse be rated by 22?
Which page are you on?
Page 4.
Okay, 22.
Thank you, Bill. Get ready for it to get split up between the two accounts.
Mhm.
One is for the interest on it,
Oh.
and one is the principal, basically. But we only make one levy, and then it gets split between the two.
This is the interest payment.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like that one's coming out of the wrong account. It should be out of 216146203990.
And that one should have 171,000 or something. in it.
It's coming out of the 179, but then there's one that we budgeted for 21,640. So then that's what this one should be out of.
What's this one for?
I
I mean, shouldn't there just be one account?
it's labeled the exact same, but I think one is for the interest and then the other one is for the other payment that we make in the beginning of the year. Because it looks like we already used that one. So then it just came out of the,
The total payments should equal 170
For
some thousand.
174,000, I think.
yeah.
Well, they changed a little bit.
They do, but
The
somewhere
interest,
in that.
the interest rate's not the same on all the tranches. So we're gonna get, well, the interest rate, the interest payments are going down because we've paid off a bunch of those tranches. But I don't get why when you levy that, why it doesn't go into just one account.
I'm not sure. Because yeah, I have two accounts here.
Okay,
And they're labeled the like exact same, they're identical, so
but they're different account numbers.
yeah, different account numbers, yep.
But I mean, the total amount paid towards those courthouses equals 170 some thousand.
Yep. Yeah, we budgeted 152,000 last, or for this year, so. And year to date, we've spent 128. So then, this should be,
Correct.
yep,
Okay, so you'll just change that?
yep.
Any more questions on the bills?
Move to approve the vouchers as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the vouchers as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Monthly office reports? You missed lunch?
Most days.
I'm surprised the county has to pay for accident reports to LexisNexis. It seems to me like the insurance company would pay that. Don't you think? I mean, that's just a, LexisNexis is just like a third-party provider. They work for insurance companies. So like when we get proof of insurance at the bank, a lot of them come from them. But I figured that would be the policy holders that would pay for that stuff. So where's, am I missing something? Is there an accounting of TBO4 in this report?
Yeah. Sure. Well,
Says warrant account, but that's,
Yeah, but they've got a construction loan someplace. Yeah.
right, that was gonna be my question, what's in place for bridge financing for this thing? Or is there a bond to get left?
No, no.
Is there-
They got there's a construction loan somewhere, I think at Citizens.
yeah.
But I don't know I was just kinda wondering what this project was gonna end up costing.
Do you want to call Connie? No.
It doesn't matter because it doesn't involve the county really financially because the vote passed, so the levies are gonna be whatever it needs to be.
What's GBS J? What project is that?
The Griggs Barnes
Stutzman.
Stutzman, yeah.
That's that Silver Creek thing they're trying to get straightened out.
Does that go all the way over to Stutzman County?
That's a big deal.
I don't know, I haven't been to any of the joint board meetings on that. I don't know what the status of that project is.
Yeah, I don't either. Kinda wonder if they're not having about the same trouble that they're having up Nelson and Griggs and Steele up north. Nobody wants to put in the
Funding or
the initial funding.
I think they voted and got a legal drain, and then they ran into mitigation problems that derailed it.
Oh. So they already had the seed money.
I think that's what it was, and then they couldn't make it work because the Barnes County NRCS told them there'd be no adverse effects, so they went forward with their plan based on that determination, and it turned out not to be the case.
Oh.
there was adverse effects.
Yeah. In the tune of lots of mitigation and that. And then when that came up, then a couple of landowners were inclined to sue them, and so I don't.
That's the last I had
It
heard.
kind of fell apart, and that's the last joint meeting I went to, and they've gotten Stutzman County involved since then. Because a lot of this water originates there.
Move to approve the monthly office reports.
It's been moved by Sean to approve the monthly office reports as our second.
Second.
Seconded by Dale.
And I wanna, again, I wanna point out this water board is so upside down here financially that and without any accounting, they spent all of their budgeted money from this year on this project that was not even a budgeted expense in the budget.
It's cash management, John. They don't want to pay interest on it. I don't know.
The water board is upside down by $27,000 plus whatever has been, plus the $360,000 in the, I guess it's a bridge loan from the bank, $362,000.
Well, that might be bigger than that. You don't know that.
I understand.
That's just a monthly expense.
But we are responsible for their budget. And when we approve the budget, at the least, we should demand that the budget they presented to us is how the money is spent. That's the basic consideration, and that's not happening here. They've overspent the budget by $58,000 already on a line item that was never presented in the budget. And ultimately, the Griggs County residents are responsible if this thing doesn't work. They have to make this thing whole. And we're not doing our job of supervising this thing.
It's not the end of the year yet, John.
Okay, I don't want to voice my concerns. I do it every time I look at this thing,
I know.
and it's on a progressively downward, steeply downward off the cliff trajectory.
Is there any more discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No, Wayne?
No.
Jeff?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for your support of the NDSU extension, and was curious as to whether or not you guys had received any of my email messages about the legislative update on October the 19th.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. I just wanted to see once because I hadn't heard from anyone, I just wanted to let you know that we are conducting one for District 23 on the 19th from 10:30 to 11:30 with Zoom. And if any of you guys are so inclined to participate, we'd appreciate having those that can be in attendance there.
What's the purpose of it?
To update the legislatures, two representatives and senator for the area, what NDSU extension has been up to
Okay.
in each of the counties. So that was one item I wanted to bring up tonight. And secondly, in getting started in my job, I wanted to know whether or not I could use any of my county money to purchase shirts that say NDSU extension on them.
Yeah, there's never been a line item in any of the department's budgets for clothing, other than, I take that back, the sheriff's office has a line item because of course, they have to have uniforms concerning public safety. I would, at first glance, I would say that, first of all, the budget for this year has been finalized. And secondly, you have basically one boss and one customer in your job. Your boss would be NDSU Extension, and we are their customer. They provide services to us. So The question if for NDSU extension shirts, I guess would go to NDSU extension and see if they wanna buy them for you. You're basically their employee and you're subbed out to us, is how that works.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
Maybe they'll give you a gift card to the bookstore in NDSU.
Yeah, I don't get any clothing from the university. Just was curious whether or not that money could come from my fund on camera here to do that.
I don't know how, that would break precedent. I mean, again, we don't buy it for the road department, we don't buy it for any other departments. And our primary job as county commissioners is to manage the finances of the citizens of Griggs County. And I'm not quite sure how buying shirts for the county agent would benefit the citizens of Griggs County. Never been done before, and remains to be seen if it'll be done in the future.
Okay?
But that's only my opinion. Have at it with the rest of them.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree, so.
Well, it's not in the budget, so it'd be somebody has to make a motion.
You can certainly offer it next year as a budget item for approval.
Okay.
That's the way the system works.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Okay.
Let's go to transportation letter.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, it's got the list of those potential projects on the last page.
And I talked to Wayne. He was going to be here, but since our meeting was a little bit later, he decided not to. But he said that we would just have to switch the 2021 projects to 2022.
Okay.
And so that's what he told me. But nothing has, we don't have to say anything back until November 18th. So if you guys need to talk to him about more stuff, you can, and then we can discuss it at the next meeting. But that's,
So we kick the 2022, everything kicks down the road a year then?
yeah.
Is it because of the prairie dog funds, not
Yeah.
building?
I
Gotta give it a bigger kick.
Yeah. Need a hill.
So there's not gonna be any money next year.
I don't think so. The pot's not filling very fast.
The latest projections I saw were the end of 2021.
Before there'd be any dispersions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe not at all, because it isn't each pot gets some. It's when this one gets full, it runs down to this one, this one, this one. And
They'll have another
we're down a ways.
they'll have another legislative session before
Yeah.
it ever even.
Yeah. So if the state keeps needing money, they'll never run down to the next level or to the next level or to the next
No.
one.
Annual conference or 2021 budget.
which one do you want to go to
There's no pages in here.
for the budget?
No, the conference. Here's the budget right
The
here.
conference is in there. Yeah. Do you want to do the budget or the conference?
Well, I thought we had to wait till the hearing to do the budget.
Well, this is just to discuss it. Then at the public hearing, you guys can approve it.
Okay,
I'll read.
budget.
Budget. Okay, so a few changes since last time we discussed budget. I received some numbers from Harold, and they didn't quite line up with what I had in the budget. And that was
Tells we can have it any way we wanted it.
like we can undo transfers that were previously done. And so with that being said, I used the numbers that Harold had, because then that's going to line up with the transfers that you guys intended to make in that 1 year that got made in a different year on my end. So with that being done, if you look at the comparison page on Schedule A, page 2, we are coming in $4,648.33 less than last year. So it didn't make a huge change at all, but that's why there's that change there.
So the levy is gonna be 0.2 mils less, something like that?
Yeah. And then the taxable value came in a little bit higher than what we were projecting in the beginning. So the road department is getting 29.98 mils as budget stands right now.
Sure.
If you guys would like to take some money from the reserve and transfer into there, we just can't raise the levy at this point because estimated tax payments have gone out. So you can transfer funds, just can't raise anything.
None of those meal levies were hard levies, they were up to that point. And we've fluctuated in the past because of.
And a lot of it was the road department. That was basically the one that I saw that didn't get to the 30 mils that we were kind of wanting to get to. And then it was the library fund that didn't get quite to the 4 mils too. A lot of the other ones were so small that when it's like the rounding or whatever, they got the 0.25, the 0.75 mils. They're pretty close. So it's just the bigger ones that were just slightly off. But that's what I got.
So we ended up with $4,600 more carried over from the previous budgets than we expected.
Than we knew about.
And then there is another one. If you guys would go to, what's this back in, on page B2, at the bottom there is a line, I've added a line called COVID relief. And that is revenue in 2020 for $77,069.86. This is the funds that we got for. It was based off of the sheriff's
Department, right?
and yep, their salary amount. We've got this funds. It's in the county right now. So I did put that as a expense line in the general fund. As a COVID relief fund, so that it's not it's not just a revenue and not an expense on the other side and dropping us even further below the levy of last year, because then we would be that much less next year to try and, does that make sense? Am I saying that right?
I don't think so, because then we won't spend it, so it will have a cash balance, so then it will lower
The levy.
the levy for next year. I think it should go into a special fund,
Okay.
like a flood, like we do with the flood, so that then it's just an ongoing balance. And it can be COVID / public safety or something to that extent, so that we can spend it COVID / emergency or something to that extent. Otherwise, it's going to put it's going to cause a $77,000 imbalance in next year that then we're going to have to try to make up. And when we're chasing our tail all the time, that'll cause be a problem. So
Yep.
it will be fine in a special fund. It will be available. And it could be transferred, I believe, then too.
Okay. And then another thing with the COVID expenses that we had this year, we submitted for reimbursement for those and we did not get granted that, so this could come in handy with some of those expenses too. So
Yeah, I think make that label COVID and then parentheses public health or something of that nature, and give it a wider use for it.
And do you want that in the 2020 budget or 2021?
We better,
Gotta be in both, doesn't it?
well, it won't,
It's in the treasury already.
The expenses were incurred in 2020, right?
Not 77,000 worth of them,
No.
but
I mean,
but those came out of different like budgets that we already had budgeted for. So
yeah, that's fine. So we'll have to make a motion to amend the 2020 budget to include a line for COVID/public health in a special fund, create a special fund accordingly, and then put it in there.
okay.
And then it will, in the audit, or at the end of the year, then it will transfer,
Sure.
we'll do the same thing
Like
for
the
this
flood.
budget, is gonna have to have the same special fund also.
Correct.
So I'd make a motion that we create two special funds, one for the 2020 budget, one for the 2021 budget. COVID/public health. Fund the 2020 budget with the $77,069.86.
Public health and public safety.
Split it with your public health and safety.
Yeah.
It's something.
Public health that kind of
Limit, yeah,
put them all in.
They probably called it relief.
yeah, they did, but we want to just be able to utilize the funds for,
Raising the old courthouse.
That could be public safety to get rid of it.
I mean, it's so broad what what impacts does COVID actually have on the economy. I mean, you could.
Okay.
It's been moved by John that we create a special fund in the 2020 and the 2021 budget of COVID and public health and safety. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries.
That's all the changes that were made.
Okay.
So if you guys look at the, like within the budgets or whatever, the balance January 1st, those are the numbers that, a few of them that had changed from last time, so.
Did you express our gratitude and thank Harold for his prompt service?
We'll do that next time, because I still have,
Is he coming to our next meeting?
I hope so.
You hope so?
I asked if he would have it ready by this meeting and he said no, so.
Well, if he waits long enough, he can get 2 years in one.
I would like to discuss the auditor's budget, if I could. Can we please add office furniture in there? Kidding, I'm kidding.
Well, you're kidding or not, the response was probably going to be the same.
Can we transfer some funds?
Yeah. The only thing we can talk about is lowering the budget. That's the only option we have right now.
If you wanna open your budget up to
Yeah.
those terms,
Okay, do you want to move on? those were the only changes that I had. So if you guys had anything else, I think we were
No, I
doing pretty good.
Okay.
What time is 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, yep.
Got time to order pizza.
Hmm. The Pizza Ranch open?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
They closed for a while?
they always had takeout going, but they weren't always open to seating, but now they are. I've been in there a couple Fridays for the buffet.
What do we got left?
Well, Samantha just wanted to talk about the North Dakota Association of Counties annual meeting. I think some of the officials are gonna go.
It's virtually this year.
Yeah.
And so they just did where you registered for the whole county, and that was $500. So I registered the whole county. Me and Connie will be attending. There is a meeting on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, and it's the Flatten the Curve. Where is that? Monday. Yeah, the Flatten the Curve, Riding the Waves. That one, if we have 2 officials attend and 2 commissioners, they will reimburse the county $250 worth of our registration fee. Was wondering if one of you...
Mark wanted to go, I know.
Mark did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Talk to Mark. Did he really?
I'm sure he did.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, you need 2
With a straight
commissioners?
face, are you?
Huh?
You need 2 commissioners?
I need 2 commissioners.
Is it, how long of a session is it?
I'm
Till Wednesday morning at 10:30.
I'm not sure how long it would be.
What's the date on it?
It's the Tuesday,
That's
October
like
13th.
next Wednesday,
2 PM.
right?
It's Tuesday.
Or Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Tuesday, October 13th at 2 PM.
Yeah.
We just have to have our computer on during that time.
You could do that. I'll quiz you. No. Just kidding.
That's kinda dangerous. It's the last thing on the agenda. That's at 2. Thing might go on for 3.5 hours. Who knows?
Mhm.
I'm afraid I'm gonna be not going to
I'm
it.
not going.
Is it Zoom?
It is. Oh, it's go-to webinar? Go-to?
Go to meeting. Just another platform, same thing.
Yeah, I think I got that. Go to meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
You'll go.
I thought Flatten the Curve was old news.
Well, is this have to do with COVID?
I just assumed it did. Maybe not.
Well, I mean, just looking at the speaker, I'm not sure why would you have somebody with a
Business.
business degree and a motivational speaker, consultant, author giving the Flatten the Curve speech, but
gonna motivate you to put a mask on.
No, the Flatten the Curve that's nothing to do with COVID. Riding the wave of diversity, stereotyping, and change. BLM, baby.
it's a,
That's worth $250.
yeah.
Get paid for having that day.
Wow. Yeah, the one before it's COVID. Dr. Joan Connell, MD.
So I'll get you registered. Dale. Okay. Anybody
And
else?
then call me before and remind me.
Okay.
Maybe you can do it on all bales at the same time.
Yeah.
I need one more.
Mark.
Mark, okay. All right, I will get you registered.
Are you gonna attend?
I am. Me and Connie
Just-
will.
Just for a little game, keep track of how many times the word white privilege is mentioned.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
And every
I'll
time
make
the
a
busy
note.
take a shot.
No, I wouldn't do that. Might be a little wobbly, but come on that one.
That's what I need to take from home, huh?
I think so. Okay. Old courthouse, new courthouse.
NDSU went over there and was finishing up measuring. I haven't heard from them since they got done, so there's that.
They must be photographing a bunch of stuff, or what are they gonna do?
Isn't it a laser and they walk in there and doesn't it shoot out and give you
Yeah.
a 3D of the spaces? LiDAR, I think it is, right?
I forget. What is that for the old courthouse if you need them?
Thank you.
So, probably too late in the year, but when they get done with that, aren't we gonna have to have some kind of auction sale, or are we gonna put the thing up for bids, or what are we gonna do to make sure that a lot of the things in there aren't just buried in a hole, unless no one wants them? I mean, you know.
So do we need the historical society's blessing after it then, or?
Yeah, we can't do anything.
No,
They're
we
not
can't.
gonna.
This is just a start of a whole long, long.
They were just talking contents.
Please, yeah,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if, what we can do with those. I mean, are some of the contents subject to the historical value of the building?
I suppose the fixtures are.
Yeah,
I don't know about some of the furniture. I don't know.
I don't know either. I mean, some of it's.
I can't
original.
imagine that furniture is original.
Oh, well, those courthouse chairs are, I know that, those old,
No, those are.
yeah, and there's a bunch of
Real
them,
darn,
yeah.
But those aren't. That's not subject to the structure.
Wouldn't think so. But
I wouldn't think.
I think, yeah, it says, but I think the terminology is historical significance, I believe. I have to read that again. Because there's certainly things in there,
But like the safes and all that would be part of.
yeah, there's things in there of value to somebody that the county, the citizens could just well recognize that value and be paid for it if it's gonna get torn down anyway.
No, if we can find somebody that wants that stuff.
You know, the woodworking and the doors and the millwork in there is pretty unique and not available nowadays.
Yeah, I think some salvage place would sure like to have that stuff.
Imagine what it would cost to reproduce those hinges.
Yeah. Well, or the doors. Oh, well, you couldn't because there isn't that
If we were on the
available.
East Coast, we'd make money on the building.
Well, I mean, that maybe if we start the process, maybe we can get it bid out to somebody on, maybe someone from a major metropolitan area
Some-
where
Semis can cruise pretty far.
there's a lot of millwork in that building. Go lift up in the courtroom, go lift up the,
Crown
Ceiling
mold,
tiling.
the crown molding.
they're just gorgeous
Yeah.
up in there.
All that tin on the walls and the ceilings.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure somebody would want that.
I'm sure there's maple flooring underneath everything.
Yeah.
So we gotta start thinking about that, cause we just can't, I don't think we can just tear it down and let all that stuff go on.
No, but we were a long ways from that. I think.
Oh, there's gonna be a fight with the state or.
Yeah, they're not gonna give up
They're
just
not
because we
gonna
did
give
what
up.
they said.
I mean, they just,
Well, we don't know.
well, they kicked the can down the road.
There's a lot of stuff up in the attic up there too.
Is there?
Hmm. Like old typewriters and things like
Oh, yeah,
like
that kind of
older
stuff.
things that are like way up in the tower.
You must have an escort if you're going up there.
I used to go up there quite
Oh.
a bit when we were actually over there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was
You weren't drinking in the job, were you?
no.
Oh.
The pigeon lady.
You mean way up in the top?
Go up to the tower.
I went up there one time, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
It's amazing how far you can see from that tower.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty neat place.
Future business?
Better microphones for our recording devices. You said you listened to that tape and it was hard to hear people that weren't
It was.
close to it.
We should do something. I wonder, would Travis,
This one. It's hard to hear.
like when I listen to our meetings, I can hear you and I, but the people that are sitting off to the side, you can't hear very good.
Okay.
Is there?
No mic.
Just speakers, I think.
Yeah, just speakers.
Okay.
I'll talk to Travis.
There's probably a bunch of stuff from the old courtroom.
Yeah, wasn't there, that whole table had a rack of
Still sitting there,
microphones?
isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Unless they moved them over here. Remember, they were those,
They didn't use it.
and then they had the flexible.
They didn't have anything to use, they brought over here.
You know.
Well, I think they bought new stuff with that courtroom grant when we
Oh.
moved over here for the
Oh, yeah, there were
court,
those
for this
flexible
courtroom.
microphones that sat on each.
And those are in the courtroom.
Oh, they are, okay.
I don't know if they're the
they got
same ones.
moved?
I don't know if they're the same ones, but
Oh,
yeah, they've got.
ask Kelly.
Okay.
I don't know if we all need a microphone, then we might end up getting something else to record with too, but
Or you can just add one at the end, so then it got everything in between, or,
put one on a stand right in the middle.
yeah.
Right. Do we have to move to we're having a meeting in here?
In here, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Any more future business?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Been moved by Dale, seconded by Sean, that we adjourn. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned at 5:24 PM. Special meeting will be at 6 PM. And the next regular meeting will be on October 23rd at 2:30 PM.